Today on Who is That Saint? We meet a teenage boy who didn't just keep the faith, he bled for it. Saint Pancras, or Pancratius as he's sometimes called, was only 14 years old when he was beheaded for refusing to deny Christ. 14. In an age when most teens are worried about fitting in, Pancras stood up to Rome's most ruthless emperor and declared, "I believe in Jesus." And then he died for it. He was born around the year 289, possibly in Phrygia, modern-day Turkey, to a noble Roman family. His parents died while he was still a child, and he was taken to Rome by his uncle, Dionysius, who raised him with both care and faith. The two of them converted to Christianity at a time when that was a death sentence. Literally. Rome under Emperor Diocletian was cracking down hard. Christians were arrested, tortured, burned, fed to animals, or publicly executed. Still the faith spread. Still families baptized their children. Still this 14-year-old boy stood tall. Pancras didn't hide his belief. He didn't sneak into the catacombs and call it a day. He boldly declared himself a Christian in public, which was basically signing his own death warrant. Word got to Diocletian himself, who, impressed by Pancras's youth and noble heritage, supposedly offered him a deal. All he had to do was burn a little incense to the Roman gods. Just say the words. Go along to get along. But Pancras said no. His answer was simple, unwavering. I am a Christian. That was it. The emperor gave the order, beheading. And on May 12, around the year 304, Pancras was led outside the city walls and executed. 14 years old. A boy, a martyr. His body was buried along the Via Aurelia, and very quickly Christians began venerating his tomb. Miracles were reported. The story of his boldness spread like wildfire. In the early 600s, Pope Gregory the Great sent relics of Pancras to England as part of the Christian mission there. He became one of the first saints venerated in Anglo-Saxon England. That's why so many English churches are named after him. St. Pancras Station in London, for example, is named for the local parish of Saint Pancras that stood nearby. He's often depicted as a young boy in a Roman tunic, hand raised in witness, palm branch in hand, a symbol of martyrdom. He's now the patron saint of children, adolescents, and oath-takers, anyone who needs the courage to stand by their word in the face of pressure or threat. And let's be honest. We live in a time that wants to silence conviction, that mocks faith, that ridicules purity, that punishes people for standing up and saying, I believe. Pancras was doing that when most people his age hadn't even figured out who they were yet. That's the power of grace. His witness reminds us that holiness isn't reserved for grown-ups. It doesn't wait until you've got a theological degree or a steady job. Holiness is about saying yes to Christ, no matter what it costs. And if a 14-year-old boy in a pagan empire could do it, what excuse do we have? Saint Pancras didn't fight with a sword. He fought with truth. He didn't write letters to Caesar. He just stood there and refused to bow. And when the empire struck him down, God raised him up. Maybe you're young. Maybe you feel unimportant. Maybe you're just trying to hold your ground in a world that keeps pushing. Let Saint Pancras remind you. You don't have to be big to be brave. You just have to be faithful. Quote of the day. I am a Christian. I will not offer sacrifice to idols. Saint Pancras.